Welcome back, guys. We have another episode of Monday Gunday for you today, and as you can see, we got the box here. This is the new Ruger RXM, the new collab pistol with Magpul that you all probably have heard about and have probably seen a little bit. We have one here, and we decided to throw a Trijicon SRO 1 MOA red dot on there. For a lot of us, that is our favorite red dot, so why not put one on here? This is the gray frame, about a Glock 19 size and very reminiscent of a Glock. In fact, a lot of the parts are interchangeable with Gen 3 Glocks, so that is pretty cool. Initial thoughts behind this gun is it's a little small for me personally in my hands. However, for a lot of people, this would be a great concealed carry sized firearm and would fit a lot of your hands pretty well. If you are into the compact kind of size of pistol, this might be a decent option. Let's first talk about some of the stats and some of the features real quick before we head out to the range. This pistol comes in at a pretty affordable price range. The MSRP is $499 on the Ruger website. However, if you're looking to buy it at a gun store, you're probably going to be able to pick up one for about 400 bucks. We saw $410 at Bass Pro Shop. We saw as low as, I think, $380 at Academy Sports if you're using their Academy Sports and Outdoors card. So around that $400 price range, brand new, which is pretty cool. Very affordable, very budget friendly. If you are a first time or a new kind of gun owner or new to compact firearms, this might be a great option for you. And even if you're not, even if you are a seasoned shooter, very proficient shooter, this could still be a cool gun for you to own and mess around with and shoot. A couple other features. This has a stainless steel fire control insert. So that is like the whole trigger group and insert that sits down in the grip of this gun. That is a serialized part. That is technically the firearm. So that allows for some modularity. You can get different grip modules for this. Right now, as we're filming this, there are 4 colors available. There's black, gray, which is what we have here, as well as FDE and OD green. And currently there are no other size options, but I believe hopefully soon there will be other size options, so you could get a larger frame if you would like. Another cool feature is this comes optic ready right out of the box. It is a direct mount system that allows you to use RMR footprint, Delta Point Pro footprint, and even RMSC footprint red dot sights. It's cut low enough, and without needing adapter plates, you can co-witness with these standard iron sights, which is cool. It also has a flared magwell, which is going to help with those reloads, and it's actually pretty nice and fairly well flared here, so no need for an additional magwell add-on piece there. This pistol is chambered in 9mm, obviously, with a 4-inch barrel, and standard capacity in this configuration is 15+1, and it comes with 2 15-round Magpul PMags. They stick out a little bit below the grip, so that allows you to easily strip it if you need to for whatever reason. And if you pick one of these up and you're looking to change color of the grip module or get a different size, etc., they are pretty affordable. They're only $40. You can get them on the Magpul website, and I'm sure you can get them elsewhere. And that is called the Magpul Enhanced Handgun Grip. So that's about all that we'll cover on the RXM. Aside from the size, and that's just a personal thing for me, seems like a pretty cool pistol. Just messing around with it in the office and doing some dry fire. The trigger seems like in my opinion, a nice Glock feeling trigger with a fairly smooth rolling break. You don't get like a real defined wall, but in my opinion, that's okay. I do like a rolling break, especially when it's smooth. Those slow, precise shots, I feel like I can hold that dot very steady when you're rolling, when you meet the resistance and you just give steady pressure, fighting through that. Some people like a real crisp wall, a real solid break, but some people also tend to jerk those and throw their shots low. So this might be a nice trigger in your opinion as well. So let's go out to range. We will run through our drills and see how this thing shoots. Okay, we made it out to the range. It is snowy here, but it's actually not too cold. Thankfully, sun is keeping us warm. Got the RXM. So let's see how this compact gun does in my large hands. To me, this is a tiny gun. I would never carry anything this small. Just kidding, this is a cool gun. I can already tell. I threw a couple rounds just to confirm 0 on the dot, but aside from that, I have not shot this gun at all. So 7 yards, back-to-back bill drills, A-zone. Let's see how we do here. Are you ready? Yes. Stand by. Gosh dang it. Had a little trigger freeze there. That is a 249. Clean, but that Glock-ish trigger pull. I was just shooting a match Walther PDP, and they're very different guns, and so are the triggers. But if you're used to Glocks and things like that, it's a pretty decent trigger. So let's run again, see if I can go faster and not get trigger freeze. Stand by. Okay, that one felt better. That was a 219. So getting close to my kind of personal standard of 2 seconds, all clean. This gun's easy to shoot. And even though it's small, like getting that grip and controlling the recoil, doesn't feel snappy or anything. What we will test out next is the magwell, and like we talked about, it does kind of have that natural flare that they built into the polymer there. That's cool. We'll see how it really does on this next one, which is a 3, reload 3 at 7 yards again. So I will download this mag. So I go to slide lock, because we're looking at the controls of the gun. Getting that mag in, slide release, getting a grip back on there as efficiently as possible. So let's see what we do. Stand by. Oh shit. Okay, interesting. And I threw one round just a hair right of the A-zone. So I'll load that back up again, and we'll just scratch that round. This is a brand new gun, by the way, so potentially some break-in type stuff. Stand by. Okay, same issue. I don't know if we want to take a look at that. You can see there's the last round in the magazine. These are P mags, 15 rounders. And it looks like it just didn't have quite enough oomph to get back and then to pick that up. You know, honestly, all right, let's open this up. Clear gun. Okay, we're shooting these Federal Syntech 150 grain. They're great typically, but we have seen feeding issues. I honestly think that's what it is, because you can see on the nose of this round an indentation where it got hung up on the on kind of that feed ramp on the barrel, it looks like.
And historically too, a flat nose round, a truncated round like that, feeds less good.
And so that happened on the last round, so potentially it could also be a little bit of a weak spring getting that last round up high enough as it's kind of trying to feed. So maybe we'll throw in some like 115s, just standard full metal jackets, and conveniently we have those here. So
you should show them side by side.
Side by side, yeah. Let's get these. So 115 full metal jacket, 150 flat nose.
So side by side, very easy to see why a flat nose projectile would feed less.
Yeah.
There's just a lot to catch on the feed ramp.
Let's ignore hits. We will go with the 115s. And most people are going to be shooting rounds like this, you know. So we got 2 right here. Just keep that in mind for this next one. 3, reload 3. Stand by. Oh. Whoa. Did I load this wrong? Gosh dang it. I thought I just didn't go to slide lock, but I think I probably had more than 3 loaded in that magazine. Okay, a little bit on the struggle bus here on this 3R3. We'll get there, we'll get there. This one's gonna be good, I promise. Stand by. Okay, there it is. Threw my first round after the reload way over here, and then I threw one of these two. I think it was that one on the first string of 3. So not clean, not great. That was a 444. Okay time, but I'm really not looking at throwing any shots. That is unacceptable. So run it back one more time. Stand by. Gosh dang it. Better, 408. So more along the lines of the times I'd like to see, but second string of 3, I cranked one down. 100% me, I could feel it on the trigger press. I'm just getting sloppy, relaxed grip. But aside from that, clean. For a gun that I would deem too small for me, this thing's shooting great, no complaints. So we'll go back to 10 yards now. We'll put up a B8 target and we'll test this gun's accuracy. 10 rounds, 10 yards, no time limit, hoping to get all in the bullseye there. We are back at 10 yards, 30 feet. We got a clean B8 target up there. So the 2 small rings in the center is an X ring and a 10 ring. Ideally, I'd get all 10 rounds within those for a perfect score of 100. Okay, that did well. I think I only threw 1 in a 9 ring. And I was thinking about this as I was shooting. We zeroed the red dot to those 150 grain Federal Syntex and didn't re-zero when we went back to 115s, but didn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. I did throw 1 high. That's a me issue. The rest are in the X ring. I only had like 2 in the 10 ring. So that's great accuracy, especially from a small gun. Aside from cutting me, and that slide by I would get on a normal Glock if I didn't add a mag, or like a back strap with the little beaver tail. I add those on all my Glocks. This doesn't have those, and that's okay because you get a nice cool little red line right there on the slide, which is sick. People are like, oh yeah, battle worn, it's combat proven. Anyways, sorry. That was with 115s. It's gonna shoot any ammo just as accurately. Like, this is nothing special. Those were MagTech, just cheap ammo. With these heavy boys, these 150, not 115, 150 grain Federal Syntech, we have experienced a decent number of feeding issues, and I don't necessarily think it is a magazine issue. It's just the shape and the geometry of this round trying to feed up into that ramp into the barrel. So that's not a gun issue. I don't worry about this gun having any sort of reliability issues. We put quite a few rounds through it today. It ran really well, except for those 2 failures to feed. Not a big issue. This gun ran great, and I was pleasantly surprised. That's that. Let's head back to the armory. I will kind of give you a breakdown of all of our scoring categories and let you guys know our total and what I thought about the gun. Okay, so we are back from the range. We put quite a few rounds through this pistol, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was skeptical at first, I will be honest. A lot of that had to do with just the size of the firearm. But shooting it didn't seem to give me any issues, and I thought that it was very pleasant, very smooth, not a lot of recoil. Typically with shorter slides and smaller setups, you get a more snappy feeling gun. This did not feel like that at all. It's very manageable, and you could burn it down. Me personally, coming from shooting a lot of Glocks, it was very, very natural, right? So getting into our 10 category scoring system. First category is cost. This pistol is going to get a score of a 9.2 out of 10 for cost. And it's obvious Why? Because it's fairly cheap. 400 bucks. I think that is a outstanding value, which we will get into later, but just cost for the gun. Optic ready, flared mag well. You only get 2 mags, but you get this hard case. All in all, I think that's a pretty good cost. Next category is ergonomics, and for me, that's getting a 6.6. And keep in mind, this is my personal score for this pistol. Somebody else here reviewing it might have given you a different score, but 6.6 simply because I have large hands and I just wish it were bigger. Hopefully soon that will be possible with a larger grip. But I mean, all in all, it wasn't bad. Everything worked as designed. Mags pop out easy. The slide release, even on an empty loaded mag, super easy. These are kind of extended, kind of enhanced, the mag release and the slide release. I mean, everything else feels good. One issue I did have was a little bit of slide bite, and I get that on Glocks unless I use the extended like palm swell and beaver tail. That's just a big hands, big knuckles kind of situation, because I like to get real high up in there, and you can see my thumb knuckle there kind of hangs up over there. So not uncommon for me to get slide bite out of stuff like this. Next category is trigger. I'm going to give that one a 6.9. I think it's a good trigger. Obviously could be better. I have yet to shoot a perfect trigger. 6.9, I feel like that's pretty fair. There's a lot of travel. It's not super light, but this kind of fits in the concealed carry defensive pistol category. So you don't expect something like this to be crazy light, crazy crisp. That could set up some amateur shooters for disaster, you know, inadvertently cranking off rounds. So all in all, decent trigger. I liked it. Our next category is bore axis, and that is getting a score of an 8.5 out of 10. I think the bore axis is great here. I think you can really get your hand nice and high and tight, which is good for mitigating recoil and controlling the gun, letting that dot come back to 0 as you shoot. This was a easy gun to shoot, in my opinion, and I think a lot has to do with the bore axis there. So it's getting a pretty good score. Sights, that is getting a score of 7.2. The reason it's not better is because this front sight post is super big and thick with a tritium dot in there. The back is decent. It's just like a U notch. The optic system is cool. However, personal preference, I prefer a much thinner fiber optic front sight post. That's just preference. So sights aren't bad. They are steel, so that is good. And the optic system is pretty good as well. For aftermarket support, we are going to give this a score of 9.1, and that is because these guns share a lot of parts with Glocks, Gen 3 Glocks, which is like the most popular thing out there. So there will be a lot of aftermarket support. And that goes with holster options as well. We were using a Tier 1 concealed Glock holster, and while the fit on that isn't absolutely perfect, it fits really well. We just tweaked the retention settings just a little bit and got things to work about as good as they could. So there will be holster support as well as parts support, you name it, Glock mags. You can expect there to be a lot of support for this gun. Round capacity is our next category. We just got these little 15 rounders, which isn't great, isn't terrible. I'll give that a score of a 6.3 for round capacity. We are seeing a lot of really small subcompact pistols even coming out with 15 round magazines or 17 round magazines. You know, we are finding out ways to get more ammo in the gun and larger magazines in the gun. I think this should be a little bit higher than that, but again, it is compact, so it's kind of that standard Glock 19 15 round kind of standard you got there. Next up, we have serviceability, so maintaining the gun, taking it down, replacing parts, etc. This is a pretty easy gun, just like most modern striker fired handguns. It takes down just like a Glock, and uses a lot of the same parts. So serviceability is going to be pretty good on this. That is why I will give it a score of 8.4. And then we come to value. This is getting a 9.6. I think this is a tremendous value. I really liked this gun. I thought this was cool. I just wish I didn't get slide bite, but you know, I could modify my grip a little bit and prevent that probably. You are getting a hard case. It's decent. You're getting 2 mags. The optic ready system is nice. The flared mag well. You don't get a ton of like extra goodies with this gun, but I don't think you should expect that or need that for a $400 setup. I think it's a very good value. Last scoring category is probably the most subjective. That is cool factor. So this is just my personal opinion on this gun and if I think it's cool or not. I think it is cool. I think it is a score of a 7.1 cool. The reasons why it's not higher: the sights, the size, and you only get 2 mags. I mean, the color's cool. This gray is decent. I would prefer probably the FDE. That one looks like a cool color. So it doesn't look bad though. It doesn't look bad at all, especially with an optic on it. Shoots really nicely. So I think it's cool. So total score for the Ruger Magpul RXM. So RXM, like Ruger X Magpul? Is that what? Obviously, I knew that the whole time. Just light bulb moment over here for my dumb. Total score for the Ruger Magpul RXM is a 78.1 out of 100. And I went through this scoring system a couple times to really make sure I was giving the categories the score that I wanted, and this turned out to score really well. I was surprised. I think there's only 4, maybe 5 other pistols that scored higher so far that we have reviewed. This one beat some pretty good guns, and I think a lot of that score comes from just the value and cost. Also the aftermarket support and serviceability. It does really well in those categories, and I think that's important when considering a firearm. That's my score for this one. As always, let us know what you thought about this and what you would score this, and if you've shot one. If you've had the chance to pick one of these up and test it out and shoot a little bit. I've talked to a few people who have also shot it, and largely I hear good things. So drop a comment down below. Be sure to like and subscribe, share our videos with your friends, and let us know how we can better serve you, because that's what we're here for. So until next time, stay safe and stay strapped.